Calming a dysregulated brain doesn't have to be that complicated. These 3 remedies can help. Hi, I'm Dr. Roseann, and I make calming a dysregulated brain easy. And today we're diving into my 3 favorite ways to calm a brain. And they're techniques that I have been using for the 3 decades. I've been helping tens of thousands of people regulate their nervous system. And regulating your nervous system is the key to immediate relief, but lifelong mental health, right? And we want our kids to be happy and regulated. And it just doesn't happen because you want it to happen. We have to use tools. And sometimes nervous systems get stuck in these overstimulated or understimulated states. So understimulated, being unattentive, problems listening, could be very anxious and avoidant or unmotivated, and overstimulated, full of rage and irritation and telling you to F off, and angry and resistant, and a range of behaviors. And nervous systems get stuck. We have to stop personalizing these behaviors and thinking our kids are doing this on purpose. It is their nervous system that is stuck. So how can we get a nervous system from this dysregulated state to a calm state? And there's lots of ways, but these are the ways that when people hop on an airplane and they come and see me, these are the ones that I consistently recommend. And sometimes we work with people in our one-to-one program and give them support. But in all of our things that we do, every single touch point teaches you about how to regulate that nervous system, because no healing, no improvement of attention, no reduction of anxiety that is lasting, none of that's going to happen until you regulate that nervous system. So if you want more help, you can go to www.drroseann.com/help, and it's going to match you to the right solution. My number one favorite way to really create big shifts quickly, but when you do it over time, creates lasting change, is neurofeedback. That is the base of our one-to-one program, where we only work with just 5 or 6 people in a month. What is neurofeedback? You may have heard of it. You're probably Googling it right now. Watch the other videos on it. But it is a non-invasive therapy that uses real-time feedback to the brain waves to get the brain to change itself. That real-time feedback is coming through. We use EEG neurofeedback. All neurofeedback is good. It's the right neurofeedback for what you need. And EEG is, for me, the best for kids' brains and complex brains. And it really can directly train certain areas. So nothing comes through the wires in EEG neurofeedback. It's not the case in all kinds. But in EEG, and it's really monitoring the brain, right? Measuring it and telling the brain, training the brain to self-regulate. It changes specific regions of the brain, but more importantly, it changes brain communication. And brain communication is the superhighway. When you work on brain communication, all areas of the brain can start to regulate. It's very powerful. It's very effective. Tens of thousands of research studies, 3,000 peer-reviewed studies. And as somebody who is the leading expert in PANS and PANDAS with neurofeedback, I know how effective it is. I'm the only provider who's ever done a training for the International Board on Lyme disease and PANS and PANDAS, because I'm qualified to do it. It helps in so many ways. It improves that connectivity in the brain, helping the brain to get into a parasympathetic state more easily. You can target symptoms from OCD to rage, anxiety, focus, whatever. You can get in and target very specific areas. You also, when you're doing a QEEG brain map with me, which is, like the coolest thing ever and what I love to do, and it's not typical in providers, because I connect what's actually happening to the brain to behavior, because I'm a child therapist and certified school psychologist, and have had 3 decades of working on behavior, also did neuropsych testing. And so when you see what areas are over and under stimulated, you are very clear about why these behaviors are happening and what you need to do about it. And it's just an unbelievable diagnostic tool. But neurofeedback how does it actually happen? What does it do? Please watch the videos on it. But at a very cursory level, we start with a QEEG brain map. People come in, they fly in, we do the brain map, we get this review, and I do a care plan, and then we show you how to use equipment, which you then take home, and we follow you in a 6-month program that is way more than neurofeedback. You get access to me, you get concierge level care, you have your own case manager, you are getting support on nutrition and supplements and all these other things that are perplexing and confusing. And we hold your hand, guide you through that change, maybe even mindset work and addressing some of those fears. When you get your brain map and you know which areas that need to be trained, I design a protocol, and you're putting sensors on 1 or 2 areas of the brain, depending on what you need. And the brain, in 2 to 3 seconds from the time it's hooked up, will start changing itself in order to get reinforcement. What is a reinforcement? With us, it's a movie playing or a show playing or not playing. You're getting different visual and auditory reinforcements based on our software. And the brain, with this simple reinforcement, it's getting real-time feedback on its own brainwave activity, starts resetting itself. So neurofeedback can provide quick relief, but those changes, those lasting changes, are going to take a number of sessions. We typically do about 40. I would say 50% of our people do more than that because they're so happy with the changes and they want to go after different things. But you need at least 20 sessions, or it's essentially a waste of your time. As I always say, think about working out. You're not going 5 times to the gym and gonna be, jacked up and buff. You need the constancy, and it's the same thing for the brain. It needs a constancy to learn, to unlearn its dysregulation and learn a healthy way. And then what you're seeing is you're going to see a reduction in symptoms, whatever you're going after. And again, it could be a variety of symptoms, through attentional problems to the cognitive, to the anger, to all these things. And so it's not just that, but because you're regulating the nervous system, you often get an improvement in your immune system. And that's why so many of my Lyme peeps, my autoimmune peeps, my PANDAS people do so much better. You can be on medication, psychiatric medication. Eventually, most of my people either titrate down or come off completely with their prescribing physician's care and approval, because we're regulating the nervous system. And when you regulate the nervous system, you're just not going to have that activation in that same way, right? So you can get access, searching for providers. You always want to have a certified provider. Only an uncertified provider will tell you you don't need it. And you can always work with us by going to www.drroseann.com/help. And it's going to guide you to, if you want to work with us one-on-one, if it's a right solution for you, because there might be something else. I love neurofeedback, and it's awesome. And it is worth every bit of investment of time and effort and money. And you need a really skilled provider who knows exactly your issue to support you, not just in the neurofeedback, but in all the pieces that come with that, and help you as a parent to guide you through that issue. It's really critical for yourself. My next one is PEMF, and we have our own device called PEMF, and it's pulse electromagnetic field therapy. And really, it's low frequency electromagnetic waves that come into the body. So in our device, right, you're putting it near your chest or your stomach. It's a small device. It's smaller than a phone, and it's thin. You have a fanny pack, or you pop it in your pocket. And what does this darn thing do? So number one, it is calming the nervous system. It pulls you into a parasympathetic state. When you're in a parasympathetic state, all the magic happens. Right? Your brain starts working, your immune system starts working, your hormones, your gut improves, all these things. It allows the body to do its work. This also supports cellular communication and cellular function, and it reduces inflammation and improves detoxification. And so when these 3 things happen, which all 3 are happening, you are going to have improved physical and mental wellness. It also improves sleep And sleep is just so critical for physical and mental health. And if you have a kid with a complex behavioral problem, PANDAS, intense OCD, anxiety, all these things, right? Who knows what they have, but it's not what it's out of control. It feels out of control. Sleep is critical and nervous system regulation is critical. And meds are not the only answer, right? Regulate before you medicate. Love that. I'm going to keep saying that all the time. PEMF can improve emotional reactivity because, again, you're calmer. And so if sensory is a trigger, that can be less. If you're just a negative person, that can be less. Focus can improve. It's non-invasive. It's easy to use. Ours is portable. We say, like, be calm anywhere, anytime, on the go. And we made ours portable because we have the same level of potency in terms of, I don't even potency is the right word, but we have the same protocols in this big old unit at the office. I love it, but who has time for that? This, I can pop it in my pocket. I can put it in my fanny pack, and I can work on whatever I need. Now, we have 3 devices based on 8.5 years of people coming in, hundreds of people coming into the office and testing these protocols. So we have one for infections and toxins that many of our PANDAS or Lyme people or autoimmune people use. We have one for stress and anxiety, which also has one protocol for focus. And then we have one for attention and learning, and they're specifically designed to support those. Each one has 6 protocols for those 3 issues, and one protocol, there's 3 times lengths. So one is 1 hour, one is 2 hours, one is 8 hours for sleeping. And then there's normal, and then there's sensitive settings. And it's a great device, and it's been really helpful. And it really, what I love about both neurofeedback and PEMF is it can amplify, enhance other therapies you're doing. Again, because you're regulating the nervous system, but you're also improving attention, you're improving their openness to learning. So it pairs beautifully with psychotherapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy. It's a great, great adjunctive. And again, remember, PEMF and PEMF in general is working on a cellular level and changing the cells. Love that. There's so much going on in the universe degrading our cellular health. And for us, as aging parents, we need to biohack ourselves so that we live longer and look good. So, and keep our stress levels down. So I got mine on all the time. This battery ran out and I was like, shoot, I can't use it. But I'm going to zip it up and it will charge right up. So it'll be great. And it uses just a USB charger. My third beloved is magnesium. We need magnesium, people. We need so much magnesium. I take multiple kinds, and our magnesium has L-Threonate, and this specifically saying L-Threonate is the best, but we have L-Glycinate and we have Malate in our multi-mag brain formula. I designed this really for the brain and mental health and cognitive functioning. We took the amounts that research has shown to improve all of these areas in terms of kids with, the symptoms related to ADD or autism and all that other stuff. I called all the research and I was like, these are the levels I need. And I need it to taste good, which it's neutral because you wanted a neutral one. And we have organic monk fruit in here. So there is a level of sweetness, but you can pop this in anything. And so L-Threonate is a unique form of magnesium because it crosses the blood-brain barrier, goes right to the brain. So when you take our multi-mag brain formula, you feel it like in a few minutes. And if you've listened to my other episodes, when I take magnesium, if we are testing something or somebody's like, hey, let's try it, I can't take it during the day because then I'm super relaxed. I'm too relaxed. And I'm just chatty Dr. Roseann. So helpful. So how does it help? One, it reduces anxiety, regulates the nervous system. It puts you in a relaxed state. It supports the brain. For some people, their attention boosts up almost immediately because it's calming you and giving you a rest, right? We have to rest in order to recharge. And sometimes in a somebody who's in activated state, they just can't seem to do that. For many people, it's reducing outbursts. It's, of course, bettering your sleep. It works so differently, L-Threonate, because of the way that it crosses the blood-brain barrier. It's going to absorb better and just be more effective because it goes right into the brain. You're going to have increased magnesium levels in your brain, which is supporting neurotransmitters. The other forms are great. Clearly, I use malate and glycinate. Those are also evidence-based magnesiums for the brain. And that's why all three are together, because they each do slightly different version, like magnesium citrate, which is probably the most common one. It's very cheap. That's great for pooping, right? So, I didn't put this in here because not everybody needs that, right? And I didn't want to have bowel symptoms. So L-threonate is not known, glycinate or malate are not known to interfere with the bowel, because that's the only thing magnesium can do. In a negative side effect is it can irritate the bowel, right? And so sometimes you need to take it to bowel tolerance. But these are my top 3 natural strategies that I just consistently use over and over again for a huge variety of clinical issues. PEMF can't be used with anybody that has a pacemaker or shunt that has magnetics. Neurofeedback is pretty much not contraindicative to anything or anybody. And L-threonate is a very safe form of magnesium. Anytime you're undertaking something, find a provider, work with a physician, work with people who get you and can help you. But if your child's brain and behavior feels stuck in overdrive, these 3 natural solutions can really be the reset they need. And they're not talked about enough. And parents are often pushed towards medication, and it's not the right path. If you're looking for more solutions, go to drroseann.com/help and take our solution matcher, and it's going to guide you in the right path.